Welcome to You Matter Nashville, where we celebrate the people and stories that make our community so special. We believe that everyone has a story to tell, and more importantly, everyone here matters.
We're your hosts, Jason and Mindy Hoover, and we're passionate about shining a light on individuals who are making a real impact right here in Middle Tennessee. This is about community, connection, and the incredible people who are making a difference.
Let's dive in as we uncover powerful stories and meet remarkable people whose journeys will inspire us all, right here on You Matter Nashville. Welcome back to You Matter Nashville. I'm Jason, and I'm joined with my lovely wife, Mindy. And today we're really excited to share a story that embodies what this show is all about: serving others with compassion, dignity, and purpose. Our guest today is Jantrice Johnson. She is the founder of We Give. Now, Jantrice is also a local realtor based in Murfreesboro, whose passion for community turned simple back-to-back supply drive into a powerful nonprofit that has now served more than 10,000 children and families across Middle Tennessee. Since 2014, We Give has supported students and families experiencing poverty and homelessness by providing school supplies, winter clothing, haircuts, hygiene items, and most recently through their Warm Wishes store, which is a free pop-up shopping experience where families can choose essential items at no cost, all while being treated with dignity and care. Jantrice, welcome to the show. We're so glad that you're here.
Thank you, Jason and Mindy. Thank you.
Well, Jantrice, before we get into this incredible work that you're doing, I would love for you to take us back to the beginning when you saw the need and how you just started all of this.
It actually started before I moved to Murfreesboro. I was a teacher in Nashville, and I worked in an inner city school in East Nashville. And this was East Nashville before East Nashville now, right?
What was trendy, right?
This is the Gallatin Road, Mrs. Winters, the chicken biscuit Gallatin Road.
Yes.
And so I taught in East Nashville, and I always, as a teacher, always knew that it was a gap between actually the learning part and what the kids came to school with. And so when I decided to move to Nashville and join into real estate with my mom and sister, I knew that there was an area that I still wanted to be in. And that was the part of being a part of giving back to students and teachers who are always a step behind in supplies. So that's how it started. I got with a group from my church. It was probably about 6 of us. And I said, hey, I think this year we can give away a couple hundred of backpacks. And they were like, oh, yeah, we can do it. And so that year we did. And then if you know anything about me, we can start here, but I'm always going to push myself to go more.
I love it.
And so then the next year I'm saying, y'all, I think that we can actually turn this into a weekend. And they're like, hey, we did a couple hundred, we did a couple hundred. What's the weekend look like? And I'm saying, hey, I don't think these families just need supplies. I think they need a support of a whole VIP experience. So it started with 100 backpacks. And then now we have a full weekend to where it's a VIP experience to where not only do we give away backpacks, but we give haircuts, we get food for the week. We get food for the day. And like you said in the introduction, we have a Warm Wishes pop-up store. So now we support the families pretty much throughout the school year. I just believe that families who are already experiencing some things financially should not feel a struggle during the school year. And that's why I decided to start We Give.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We had discussed, we both started out as teachers.
Yes.
And found our way into real estate and joined our family who was already in real estate.
Yes.
But you carried on the need. And I love that. I started Love the Dress because of a need. I saw girls that were in the impoverished level that were not able to go to prom and things like that because they didn't have the money. The family didn't have the money, and started off small like 100 dresses one year, and now we have like 4,500. It's like you just keep
It
dreaming
always starts
bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, it starts small.
small.
And you're like, I can do this better.
Yeah.
I can have hairdressers come. I can have makeup artists come. And you just keep on until you're like you said, this VIP boutique experience. And because I think when it comes down to it, you just want them to feel special. You want them to leave feeling elevated, that all these people cared for me. Look how good I look going back to school.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a confidence builder. It's not just, oh, I get to go and get my backpack off the freight truck, that, they have pre-packed for me.
Yeah.
You're really making them feel special. And that's just a whole new level.
So you have this every weekend, is that right?
No, so we have it the weekend before school starts. And
Okay.
then
Okay,
we
sorry.
also have a couple of days before Christmas, the Warm Wishes event.
Oh, very nice.
Expand on that a little bit.
So we just had it in December. So we had the Warm Wishes event was from the 19th through the 23rd. And it really is a store that parents can come into. They can shop for Christmas gifts. They can shop for coats, hygiene items, warm essentials, and they can literally shop in a grocery store. And that's pretty much all it is to make sure that during the time that the kids are out of school, that they are taken care of. And you have to see it for yourself. We served over 1,600 people.
Stop. That's
Wow.
amazing. That is amazing.
When you walk in, you're greeted by our greeters. You're asked, hey, what hygiene items do you need? You get a hygiene bag of the toothbrush, the deodorant, the toothpaste, everything that the travel toiletry items.
Yeah.
Then you can shop at the toy store. Because I think every kid deserves gifts during the Christmas season. And then you go from there and the kids can try on coats, and then they can get the hat, the glove, and the scarves, because I think everybody deserves warm essentials. Then they leave
Amen.
there. And my favorite part is the grocery store. And I'm not talking about the canned good stuff. I'm talking about, we had steaks, we had oxtails, we had chicken,
What?
we had hamburger meat, and you could leave with these items. Like, we had volunteers that had to go help the people to their cars. That's how many items from the grocery store.
Oh, wow.
That's
And
amazing.
if you know anything about groceries now, they're expensive. So the Warm Wishes store is literally just a store that people can go into for free, feel like they are loved and cared about, and just gives them a little bit of hope during the holiday season. And we do that for 5 days. Volunteers come, and it literally is set up like a store, and we just welcome you in, and it's free.
One thing that you mentioned that I love is the fact that they get toys, right? The kids that get toys, we all too often go to the essentials, what we think everybody needs, and they do. The food, the shelter, water, all of the stuff. But for a kid that's in school and that does not receive a gift, that I think is just as important because of their mental health.
Yeah.
They're seeing all these other kids talk about what they get. And yes, it's material, but that material, feeds the soul too, as far as a gift is not really the inanimate object. It is what the kid feels inside. So I love that you don't ignore that you let them pick out toys as well. That's just
Yes, I mean, they're kids, and I think, Mindy, you can understand this as being a former teacher. We sometimes, as teachers and sometimes parents, we put them in those adult situations. They're kids,
Yeah.
right? And I think sometimes we have to see that from their perspective. They're kids. They enjoy toys. Their other peers will be receiving toys, nice toys. And that's one thing that my group will tell you that I am very particular about. People will say, hey, we have these used items that we would like to give. I have nothing against used items, but we do new toys.
Good.
We do new coats. Because they're already in this financial strain. I feel like they deserve the best.
Yeah. They're already being compared. Yeah.
Yes, it's feeling like no other. Like in the summertime when we do the shoe store, so our back to school bash is not just backpacks. We do a free shoe store where kids come in and try on new pairs of shoes. New pairs of shoes. Because it's nothing like a new pairs of shoes.
Right.
And so it's nothing like a new toy. And so I'm very, I like to say that I want the kid and the parent to experience that feeling of going into a store.
Yes.
And getting the feeling in what we do as well.
Yeah, I love that. I know with our boutique, when we give away the dresses, everyone dresses up. Like all the attendants that help out, they're all wearing solid black with a little lanyard. Like they look like they're working like in Dillard's or whatever, because we want the kids to feel like they're walking in.
VIP.
Yes, that they're walking into an experience and they feel special. And they're not just like an afterthought of, oh, just go pick out whatever. No, they feel like, oh, wow, like I'm walking into an actual shoe store and purchasing something, but I'm not. I just want to kind of go back to, like your teacher days. And what a lot of people don't understand, that so many of us teachers, I'll probably say the majority of us teachers, had a closet in their room where they had deodorant, they had female hygiene products, they had deodorants, they had all this stuff. And if a kid came up and said, hey, I don't have this, you literally had a place in your classroom where you go get something. I had some kids that were right above the poverty line and their parents didn't have money to give them lunch money because they didn't qualify for free lunch. And they were kind of caught in that in between. And their bill was too high in the lunchroom already. And I'm like, just go get a can of soup. I had some microwave soup in there and they'd go grab it. But I mean, I don't think people know that so many teachers do this on a small level, and they shouldn't have to, but they do, because there's not enough programs like this that are bridging the gap, that are like, here's some hygiene products. Here is, this shampoo, that doesn't come off of, EBT. You can't go buy all those things. And so a lot of times the kids just go without unless they have programs like this facilitating it.
And those items get expensive.
Yes,
they do.
Even for those families who may not be in that struggle, those items are expensive. So even after our first year, I thought about, Mindy, those teachers who do that.
Yeah.
And that comes out of their own pocket. Yes. So we opened up a teacher store just for teachers to come in to shop for their classroom for free, because I understood how much went into my classroom, but how much money went into my students. So we wanted to even help. Hey, if you're going to decorate your classroom, if you're going to give the classroom supplies, what if we just helped with the supplies and the classroom decorations? So we have a teacher store that opens for 3 days in the summertime. The 3 days right before school starts, it's free, to help those teachers who have a heart of service that say, hey, majority of my check goes right back into the classroom. And that's important because it is a gap.
Yeah.
Because you are serving the kids. And my thing is, hey, teachers need just as much as support.
And love.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I take it from you?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, yeah, and love, but, and they're poor to begin with. I mean, you're not making any money as a teacher, and then you're putting money back into your classroom with decorations and supplies and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they're literally pouring themselves out.
The pay difference, being a teacher, that's a dedication from the heart, because I was in corporate at the time. And with Lowe's, Home Depot, all that, doing all of this, I saw her work nonstop. She would come home grading papers, and I kid you not, she would fall asleep on the couch with papers in her lap, and I'd have to come wake her up to go to bed. I even threatened her. I was just going to get the marker and give everybody an A, just to get her to the.
Yeah.
It's like, I taught AP. I can't do that.
But the thing is, it's something that most people don't understand about teaching.
It doesn't turn off.
It doesn't. It does not
Never
turn
turns
off.
off.
And your emotional piece of it.
Yeah.
You see those kids every day. You get to know those kids.
And know what they know what their home lives are like. And you are that daytime just extension to the world.
I was a teacher and coach. So I not only was daytime, I was nighttime.
Yeah.
You have to understand, I was there early in the morning and sometimes at 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So that service is it.
And when you have that coaching side, you get another side to them too. I was a music director, so I did the musicals and the practices after school, and like you said, until like late at night. And when you have that extra piece, and you're there, what you feel like 18 hours a day. Sometimes you are.
I was a bachelor during those times.
Yeah, during those years. But it's like you really get to know these kids, and sometimes it's overwhelming.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think it also, and I know you can speak to this, Mindy, it helps your service in your nonprofit.
Oh, yeah.
It helps every family that comes in, you understand it completely.
Exactly.
Because being on the other side. So I know even the people that help me volunteer, when they see me on 10 are giving everything I have, I'm like, hey, I've been on the other side of this.
Yeah.
This is the least that I can do. This is the least of the service that I can do because I've been on the other side.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And understand what goes on.
And if you've never been at that point, you really don't get it. Mindy and I, when we first started out, it wasn't just the jobs that we had, but there were some other instances, other things in our life that happened that, we were pretty broke. And at one point we were needing government help.
Yeah.
And I think I shared this story on one of the podcasts. I'll give the short version, but we were, just essentials. We were looking for soap at Walmart.
Yeah.
And the soap that I wanted was 32 cents more. But our budget was
that
tight that I gave that up for 32 cents.
Isn't that crazy? To think back at that, now, that we've altered our, I guess you say, our paths. We've changed our trajectory in life. But it was an uphill battle for a long, long time. And so being on the receiving end, like you're saying, or being a teacher or whatever, it just puts things in perspective because a lot of people look and go, oh, well, it's their fault. They can just go get a job. Well, you know what? Most of these people do have jobs, they still can't afford it because it's just that expensive to live in the U.S. now. You can't afford everything, that you want.
Speaking of, did you see the report that came out the other day about the cost of childcare?
Oh, it was disgusting.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. It said, what, 15,000 for Williamson County?
15,000. People are not having children because they have to work and they can't afford childcare.
And when you all talk about that, my husband and I say all the time when we first got married, we were one emergency away.
Yes.
Just one emergency away from being like some of these families.
Yes.
When we first got married, it was the same for us. We're in two totally different careers now, but when we got married, teacher, coach, and he was in a different career.
Yeah.
One emergency away. We could have been in that situation. So now when I see families, I'm like, I get it. because that one emergency, like you're saying with budgeting, that budget was
Push to the
it was
next week.
tight. So,
Push to the next week.
yeah,
Yeah.
push next week, and we tell our girls all the time, the lives that you all live now was not the
Mm-mm.
life that mom and dad lived when we first got together, when we didn't have furniture, when we have to budget out and saying, hey, next month
We had one couch.
we will get next month we'll get the couch. Next month we'll get the chair, right? So
Yes.
we're not, but we were
Yeah.
blessed with a village who blessed us with the fridge, who blessed us with the washer and dryer. So it's little things like that now that we give so freely because we understand, hey, one emergency had us there.
And see,
Yeah.
Right.
that was kind of what, with our daughter, she had medical problems. And then that one emergency you talk about, yeah, it happened. She had cancer. And so if you know how much that stuff costs, just even the aftercare, she had to have 2 MRIs every 3 months, right?
Well, she had to have a once a
Upper and
month
lower.
once a month for a while because it was very aggressive.
And each just one of those 2 was over $5,000.
It's just insane because it was a 2.5 hour MRI that they had to do. And it was just insane. And so, they say to have 6 months saved. And we just laugh. Like, we still laugh about that. Like 6 months saved up. That's good for y'all. But I mean, the majority of the U.S. has less than 2 months.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't even say a month, but
yeah, the majority of the U.S. has, they don't have the storehouses they need for an emergency. So
that's why people like you are so imperative in the lives of others. And, I love people like you.
now, how do people find you? Like, do you work with schools to get lists? How do you get the word out about your programming? How do you reach everybody you need to reach?
So we work closely with the school systems. We work with the Atlas and the McKinney programs. So we work with the directors. We have a close relationship with the directors. I just got off the phone with one of the directors, laughing when I see their name on my cell number. I know they're asking for something, right? And so the school systems, you have to think about this. Who do they call when a teacher is in a financial struggle? They don't have anyone
That's
to call.
true.
So we are the group that fills in that gap. And people ask all the time what happens. They call us with a need. And recently the need was a teacher. A teacher was in a financial struggle. And literally what happens is we talk to the teacher. I send out a group message, and sometimes that's through GroupMe, sometimes that's through our group message system. And I wait to see who gives. And that literally is where the name came from, is because I have groups of people. Being in real estate, I have lenders, I have the association, I have our church, I have my friends. Now my friends don't even know why I'm calling. Am I calling because I need shoes for a child, or am I calling because I need a friendship question,
Yeah.
right?
Or real estate.
Or real estate related.
And so it is literally who's going to take this request. And so we work with the school system through that, but we have a website, we give tn.org. And that's how you can see some of our things that we've done. But we work closely with the groups right now with the Atlas and McKinney-Vento students. We are probably on the list of helping. It's probably about 3,000 students we help throughout the school year.
Amazing. Now, what districts do you work with?
We have connections with Rutherford County and Murfreesboro City Schools.
Okay.
But we accept phone calls from the surrounding counties.
Okay.
Like the 1,600 individuals that we helped with the Warm Wishes, some people came all the way from the other side of Nashville.
Okay.
So we still help the surrounding counties,
Great.
but the majority of our people come from Rutherford County and Murfreesboro City Schools. And through that, McKinney-Vento and Atlas is over 3,000 students. And that's not including, we don't stop with students, we help their families. So you have to think one student may come with 3 or 4 individuals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you work with K through 12 then?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Work with
we talked a lot about you being a teacher. How has being a realtor helped you or supported your work in the community? I know you mentioned something about lenders and different vendors, but dive in a little bit on that for me.
I just truly believe if you are a realtor or work in the community space, because that's what I feel like a real estate agent is, you are a community leader.
Yeah.
I just feel like there should be a give back area. I don't want my service just to be in helping buyers and sellers. I want my service to be in the community. So, people ask me all the time, hey, what do you do? I serve the community. I happen to serve the community in buying, selling homes, but I also help those who are dealing in uh, the fact that they may not have a home.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't stop with just because I'm helping people with buying and selling homes. I also want to help those who may not have a home,
Right.
because that is my calling as well. I have a calling on my life, and it just doesn't stop on this is what makes me money.
Mm-hmm.
I have a calling on my life to give back in that area as well. So it has helped me because we have the association here, MTAR. They have fully committed to the cause. My volunteers are from the association.
I love that.
They work hard. They know when they see me. Like I said, is it about real estate or is it about we give? You never know with me. Right? But I've been blessed that when I walk into a room, it's either one of those two things. It's about a house or someone dealing with an issue with the house. So it's one of those two things. So the association and the group of lenders that our team, the Smothering Pros that we work with, and our clients, they know that what we do in the real estate space, we give back to this cause. So.
What I was going to say is that you definitely practice what you preach, so much so that you were given a pretty big award here recently. Do you mind sharing what that was?
Yes, I was recognized by the National Association of Realtors, NAR.
Which is nationwide, for those that don't know.
It's nationwide, top 10 in their Good Neighbor Award.
That's amazing.
So
And
neat.
that experience was just awesome. The last part was in Houston, and that was literally a red carpet experience.
Oh, wow.
And everything was red carpet experience. My husband and my mom and dad got to experience the banquet and all that, and the video was great. But the fact that I was able to talk about the families that often go unseen and unheard on the news and in the paper and online, that experience was great. That was great.
I bet it was. Now you said it ended in Dallas or Houston? Houston.
Yes,
Okay.
at the national conference, that last part was the banquet. It was actually a movie premiere for the top
okay.
10.
Okay. I like
Yes.
it. And back to your website, I pulled it up here, wegivetoyouin.org. And, I looked at it earlier and I watched your video on here. Great video, by the way. But I love the website. It's very easy to manage. But for those that are interested, I mean, you do have the way to donate and find out more information. And on here, it has, just for listeners, it's even show down here where your donation goes: back to school, holiday giving, teacher support, and vulnerable family support. So if you're listening, you're interested, please check out the website for more information on that.
And our email is on there. Our email is on there. So even if you have
Okay.
questions
Yes.
about what's coming up and ways you can give, you can always email us through the site as well.
Yeah, there's volunteer opportunities throughout the year, right?
Yes.
Even though you have different types of events.
Well, moving forward with We Give, what are your goals? Your next, we're always told to have vision boards and have your 5-10 year goals in mind. How big and how, I guess, incredible are you wanting to make this thing? Are you wanting just to keep going what you're going? Are you going to be diving into different ventures in this and expanding?
So we are in a transition year. For the last 7 or 8 years, we've been known as the Back to School Bash, giving away backpacks.
Okay.
Plus some things. We're transitioning to now where the Back to School Bash will be a store for a shoe store, a shoe and essential store. So we will no longer be we've noticed that groups have been giving away backpacks, but shoes and essentials for back to school, like the haircuts and the food. And I'm a stickler on hygiene, making sure that all kids have the deodorant and the toothpaste and all that. So we are, instead of the bash, we will be opening up a store. We're transitioning into becoming an official shoe and essential store this year. And so that's a big thing, because we want people to come in and shop for free. And kids can come in to try on shoes in their size, get essentials, and we don't stop where it's just for the kids. We support the parents in making sure they're signed up for all the services that can help them locally. So we want to make sure when they come in, if they can get shoes, if they can get haircuts, they can get food for the day. We actually have cooks that come in and cook food for the day and food for the week, but also make sure that the services that are available in our county are all there, all in one. So when you come in, all of your essentials are taken care of before the school year. So that is a big thing that we will actually have a meeting in a couple of weeks to start planning for August, because our goal is to collect in between 3,000 and 5,000 pairs of shoes.
Oh, wow.
That's a big undertaking.
That is a huge undertaking.
And the reason why we're doing this, because every kid that comes in, we treat it like a shoe store. We size them like we have sizers.
Yeah.
We give them a fresh pair of socks. We want to take them through, hey, do you like this color Nikes? Do you like this color Reeboks? You try on the shoes. We want to make sure that they have a nice pair of shoes. So our goal is to make sure we have shoes in all different types of sizes. So we're coming away from the backpacks. We want to fulfill all the other needs that a lot of the other organizations are not, because it's a lot of backpack drive.
Right.
We want to make sure that all the other things,
fill in the gaps.
They can get their eyes checked. They can get a physical. We want to make sure that all the other items are taken care of. And so we are growing, and we will continue to grow the Warm Wishes store. That was just a huge success this year. It'll grow into bigger. So we are starting the collection of even our warm essentials even now, because some of those things, as it gets warmer in March, and coming up in March and April, we'll start doing the collection of some of our warm essentials, because coats will go on sale.
That's right.
So this year is our transition as we grow into some of those things. But one of our biggest needs is storage, because if I receive a call, if I receive a call today and someone has 100 pairs of shoes, right now my family is looking at me, because I'm telling my husband, we got to store it at the house, right? Our extra bedroom is is always filled with coats and hats and all that kind of stuff because I don't want to turn it away. But right now, our biggest thing is so it's a transition. So that's how big we are turning. We need storage space, but we're collecting items to give to more people because, as you said, the word is getting out. The national attention helped, but we are serving more families, not just in Rutherford County, but the surrounding counties.
Okay. And what a lot of people take for granted is, having transportation and going to all these different places for their kids to go into getting the eyes checked and going to get all the supplies and all the different services. Having that all in one place, they can get it all checked in one place is really huge for them. So I would love that too.
But you're always trying to stay on top of storage. So that's definitely a little bit of a hurdle that you have to face.
Yeah. I know I called for years until finally a storage facility said that we could have space for a huge reduction. And because when you're throwing away hundreds of dollars a month in storage, I mean, it's money that you could be servicing children. It's a lot of people that are like, oh, just go get a building, or a storage facility. And I'm like, yeah, I'm throwing away $600-700. Like, no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Storage is expensive.
It is very expensive.
Talking about the hurdles, a lot of our listeners are nonprofit owners or actively involved. And there's always hurdles. There's always, things that come up and you have to find ways around it. Have you, I'm sure in your years, have you had an issue like that, that kind of, I don't want to say blindsided you, but, made you have to kind of stop and think and find a way around it?
I think every year I'm blindsided by issues. I think every year, but here's the thing, and Mindy, I'm always going back to this. I think every year I'm blindsided by an issue, but as a teacher, it happened every day.
Yeah.
Every period, something happened, and I had to think quick on my toes, right? And so for me, it's like, this is the thing that happened this year, but as a teacher, it was something every period, right?
Yeah.
From first period to second period, something was going to happen that I had to.
There is a mini crisis somewhere, especially in those teenage babies. Something was happening.
I have 60 seconds to figure it out before it's a fight. Right. And so the big things that happen, so there are some hurdles we're coming up on. We came up on the issue that we needed space for the event that we had to figure out. And we were blessed that Patterson Community Center here in Murfreesboro gave us a space that we didn't have to pay for. Right. That was the biggest thing is like, if I spend money on this, then little Johnny doesn't get a pair of shoes. I have to spend money on a space where all these families are going to come, right? So every year it's a hurdle. And in the 8 and 9 years that we've done this, it hasn't been a hurdle that we have not jumped over. It has a year. It's the night before. A couple years ago, I literally was hooked up to a IV because I was so sick the night before the event, and I got dehydrated, right? That is the year that we probably had the most volunteers show up the next day.
Wow.
Right. And so every time it happens that I think, here's another hurdle, I'm physically not well. That next day we had over 200 volunteers, right, to help fill in the gap where I could come in and then leave. And so every year it happens that the hurdles happen, but seeing the faces, getting the hugs, seeing the thank yous, it makes it all worth it. And are there some days where I look, you have to think I have 2 girls. They're growing up. When I started this, my girls were young and they could just hold my hand and go with me. Now I have 2 teenage girls who now I have to juggle this and their volleyball schedule.
Yes.
We're in travel volleyball.
Ooh.
They require a lot more mom attention. Now I got to pay attention to these teenage stories because now
Yes,
I'm
you
like, okay, this is a clue to this and this means
do.
that. Now I have to balance a little bit more. That is a hurdle for me now. So little things are coming up, and I'm just seeing God
Mm.
providing uh, more help for me, more volunteers, more resources, even when I think, oh my goodness, we're not going to be able to make it. And then the next day, it happens.
We had talked a little bit before we started, but being a teacher and then becoming a realtor, having a nonprofit, do know those things. I mean, it's
And a mom.
yeah, and a mom. It's a lot. It's a lot, and we always joke around, or people in the industry always joke around and say former teachers make great realtors. And I know it's because we're used to juggling and having to shift gears so quickly. Like you said, you have 60 seconds to make that, to fix that problem or to get it going or keep kids out of a fight. And, you go into real estate and a lot of that happens too, right? Like things come up in a deal and you're always trying to put out fires. And I think that's why we do so well transferring from one to the other. But which was harder, being a realtor or being a teacher?
Being a teacher, hands down. I think when you go through that list of teaching, being a realtor, nonprofit work, and a mom of teenagers,
Yeah.
my real estate work is probably the easiest work that I do.
Right? That's exactly, and even though in real estate, you wake up every day and you have to find work, right? Like it's not given to
Yes,
you. You got to go find that work
yes.
and you got to
But if
find
I
those
but
clients.
if I look at my roles, that is probably the easiest thing
Yes.
that because being a
And
teenage
it's still
mom,
hard.
it's not the easiest. It takes a special person to do the real estate work.
Yes.
Because I still feel like the real estate work is a calling. It is
Yes.
not something that you can just say, "Hey, I'm in it for this," because it will quickly eat you up,
That's right.
right?
Not for the faint of heart.
I've been blessed that I'm on a team with my mom, who's been in a business for over 35 years. So even when I wasn't in the business, I was in the
Right.
business.
Right. Yeah.
So I came in the business already knowing some things from when I was younger that I just knew about the business. So when I look at my roles, being a teenage mom is not for the weak.
Nope.
Being a teacher, but I think the hardest one was being the teacher and coach because quick. You have to deal with a lot of things, but I think it prepared me for the season that I'm in now.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And when you love people and you have a nonprofit and you're pouring into them, you're naturally going to do that into your business because you work for families because you want to find them a home, not yours. It's not working to get the next transaction. Like you're really trying to connect with those people and find a place that they can raise their family or they can retire or whatever the situation is. And there are a lot of really great realtors out there that are doing the same thing. But as in all businesses, we're not all built the same.
Yes. Yes.
I was looked at this stat up here from the U.S. Census Bureau, and it was surprising to find that it says nearly 1 in 5 children in the U.S. live in poverty. 1 in 5, 20% of the kids in America,
I believe it.
live in poverty.
I worked in a Title I where 90% of the children were in poverty.
Is that in Texas?
That was in Texas.
We lived in Texas for a little bit.
And then, and I've taught here in Centennial in Williamson County, where a huge percentage of the children in, Centennial High School are below the poverty line. And people don't believe that. They're like, what? You're in Williamson County? Yes.
Yeah.
And, and it's just staggering to see the statistics. in the metro area and in Rutherford County, of how many people are below the poverty line and showing up and trying to learn. And, teachers do their best to like bridge the gap, that those kids in poverty are getting the same level of comprehension as the kids who, may have both parents at home at night helping them with their homework. A lot of times the kids on the poverty side, their parents are going to their second job, and they don't have somebody to help them with their homework. I mean, the gap is real in that 1 in 5. Most definitely. So however we can do to support them in the daily things is huge.
That's it.
Put them on the same playing field, playing field as much as possible.
And it not only helps them in that moment, or even in that, that month, that year, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Because it is, it's going to impact them for the rest of their life. It's going to change how they perceive. It's going to change their whole paradigm. Another thing on here, it was saying studies show that stable housing dramatically improves children's school attendance and academic outcomes. Kids without secure homes are absent more and fall behind socially and academically. So you're seeing someone who is, or a kid that's experiencing that now, you're seeing this whole path laid out in front of them.
Yeah.
Now we do have free will, but there's still major challenges. And, people like you that are helping, I mean, you're literally impacting their future. You're not just putting new shoes on their feet. You're giving them an opportunity to a whole different life.
The confidence comes in and feeling like they are accepted. And because it starts on the playground. We all know this. If you don't feel like you are accepted by your peers, I mean, every day it's a struggle. Like, I'm not good enough to have friends. I'm not good enough to, do my schoolwork. I'm not smart enough. It's just, a lot of things that start to stack against you. So, I mean,
and I'm going to tell you all this: the stable, not even the stable housing. We have a prime example in our home. Our youngest is adopted, and she came into our home when she was 6, and she's about to be 13 this year. And from 6 until about 10 or 11, she struggled academically. And around 10 or 11 is when we officially adopted her. That's how long it took. That's how long she was a part of the system, right? So she struggled academically from 6 to 11. Now, stable housing, but she wasn't fully adopted. From the time that she's been adopted to now, academically and confidence, totally different child.
Identity.
Right?
I believe it.
As a teacher, I knew that, right? But seeing it live, it is mind-blowing, the confidence. So even the year that we adopted her, we decided, hey, we're going to put her in the same grade. And that teacher decided, I want her in the same class. The teacher emailed me and said, I don't even know who this student is.
Wow.
Right? And so that housing stability, I don't think people realize how important that is. You all have the words written behind you. The fact that you know that you matter changes your whole scope of your life. It changes where you go.
Yes.
It changes it changes your future. It changes everything. So that is a passion of mine to show people, hey, one kind deed, one thing of service, one thing that you're giving up, it can change someone's life, and it matters.
It does.
It definitely matters, and it can change someone's life.
Yes, it does, and more than we will ever know. More, I mean, you are going to be such an influence in so many people's lives that you've never even met, because of what you're doing for the kids right now.
Yeah.
And that's just, that gives me chills just even thinking about it.
I love your passion.
I do too. I can see it in you. You definitely
Thank
do
you.
have a passion.
Thank you.
Speaking of story, I mean, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I mean, has there been a story that just kind of has just set with you and like really resonated with you over the years when doing this or while doing this?
I think it's so many.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of on the spot, but
no, I think it was the shoe store, the pop-up shoe store we had a couple years ago with Jeffrey Simmons with the type.
yes.
We had a pop-up shoe store where we partnered with him, where we were able to give away shoes to an entire school here in Murfreesboro. It was the principal invited the school to a Christmas party. Nobody knew, but we transformed their school from the time they got out of school to the time of the Christmas party. We transformed the whole school into a winter wonderland.
Wow.
And Jeffrey Simmons was there. And they didn't know that we had collected their shoe sizes, and they got free pairs of shoes.
No way.
Right? Yes, they got pictures with Santa, they got pizza, they got hot chocolate, and a visit from Jeffrey Simmons and free shoes. Parents were blown away. They were like, well, we just thought we were coming to a school Christmas party.
Aww.
And so you had a grandmother who comes up to me and she says, they tell me that you were the one that was over this. She comes with tears in her eyes. And she says, do you know that I have 6 kids that I am the guardian for? And I was coming because this gave me a chance of a night off, that my grandkids could have fun. She said, do you know what this did for me? And so she holds my hand. You know how older people are, she holds my hand, and it's like a crumbled up $5 bill. She said, this is all I have. She says, but I don't think you realize that I was never going to be able to buy all of the kids' shoes. She said, and here I am thinking I'm just coming to a Christmas party, and all of my kids were able to receive shoes. That is why I do what I do. Right? So it's stories like that. Like we have a certain registration. So when you come in, you are greeted with a smile. And so you just don't come into our events. You are coming in and greeted with a smile and a hug to let you know that you care. And so we have lines to our events. And so you have a mom of, I think she had 4 boys who went through the line twice just to come and give me a hug.
Oh, wow. No way. That's amazing.
Right? And so it's those things that people say, why do you do what you do? Those stories. The crumpled up $5 bill. The mom of 4 boys who says, do you know how much it would have cost me to get, not only, she says, I'm not talking about the shoes. I'm not talking about the backpacks. All those things were important. She says, to get 4 haircuts.
Yes.
Which have now gone through the roof.
Because they've had to, because they keep increasing rent.
I know.
You're talking about $20, $25 per cut.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's those stories that keep me going. And people say, hey, you give up a lot of time. I do. Because as I tell my husband, I could give all this up. Right? But it's those stories. I'm like, this is why I do.
Yes.
This is it.
Right.
These are the late nights that we're looking at each other like, we could be on the beach. But I tell people all the time, when at my funeral, I want someone to stand up and say, did Jantrice have an impact on your life? I want 90% of the people to stand up and say yes. And the 10% who don't stand up, maybe they just didn't hear the question.
Right. You're like, come on.
Or maybe they were just shy,
Yeah.
Yes. That is the goal of my life, that I just want to have an impact.
Well done. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd stand in line to give you a hug too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the stories that you get to experience. It's a lifetime of smiles. I mean, it really is. And I know with Mindy, the stories that she gets to experience through her organization.
I cry a lot.
She does. She's a movie crier. So
My daughter says all the time, she looks at me, you're gonna cry in the car.
Here come the waterworks.
But it's true. It's like, every time you see that look of just excitement and relief, it's a lot of emotions that they are going through when they're receiving something special. And it's different than getting my 10th pair of shoes for my closet. It's kids that are like this relief that's on their face and peace, and they're full of joy. They're just so excited that they have something that's brand new and it's theirs, And so you cry.
Happy tears.
Happy tears. You have to have that.
Well, this has just been an amazing experience for us, just to learn more about you and what you're doing, and just the positive impact that you're making in our community. And I can't thank you enough for that. And, you mentioned those kids coming back through for the hug. I'm serious. I can definitely tell why they wanted to do that. Your heart is shining through the video here, and even the audio, if you for the ones that are listening. But thank you for taking time to be on the show and share. So, but before we wrap up, you do have events. You do ask for donations and volunteer. So would you mind sharing what type of volunteering is out there, what type of donations that you take, and any other details that you care to give?
So you can go on our website, wegivetn.org, to find out about our next event, which will be in August. And you can also go on our Instagram page. We do have Instagram at WeGiveTN. You can find out about the volunteering opportunities. You can see about our next couple of meetings. Volunteers can come from wherever. We accept donations. We are starting our donations of shoes and essential items for kids starting back school.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Been a wonderful time spending time with you today. And again, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your time. Time is our most valuable asset. And I know we were saying, we give up our time, but really I like to look at it. We're investing our time. We're investing it into a better future for other people. And I think that's at the end of the day, I think that's what Jesus wants us to do.
Yeah.
He wants us to love on others. And you're doing just that. You're setting a great example. Thank you so much for your heart. And you just, you mean more than you probably understand. So, but thank you again. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to the story. And please, if this has touched your heart, reach out, volunteer. Everything helps these kids, these families. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a ripple effect. So please just go to the website, see what you can do to give back. Thank you for listening, friends. And as always, remember, you matter.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of You Matter Nashville. We hope you found inspiration on this episode and are reminded that no matter where you are or what you do, you matter.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and even share it with your friends and family. Also, stay connected with us on social media and tune in next time for more incredible stories from the heart of our community.
Until then, remember, your story matters, your voice matters, and most of all, you matter.